There's a former Twitch streamer who goes by the name Sneako. Pretty popular guy among the younger audience, and he's been getting a lot of airtime from the Muslim Dawah guys. Rumors are he converted because of Andrew Tate's conversion, and now he's being used like a prop, just like Tate was by the Dawah guys. The thing is, this might end up being a big mistake. There's something dangerous about the path that Sneako is taking. And I'm going to tell you what I found that was so troubling about this guy and the road that he's walking now. I'm not a Twitch user, and this is the first time I'm hearing about Sneako. I decided to look into him a bit more and see who he is and what he's about. Considering he may have followed Tate into Islam, this already gives us a hint about the type of person he is. Tate is known for his misogyny and his anti-women views, and also for his shallow takes and his conspiratorial thinking. So if Tate is Sneako's role model, don't be surprised by the things that will come out of his mouth next. I found Sneako's latest video that he uploaded to the alternative video site Rumble, since he's banned on the mainstream ones, and it was a disturbing anti-Western, misogynistic, conspiracy-ridden rant. He explains in this video why he learned to love the Unabomber and why he likes Islam. I'm intentionally not going through the entire video because he's been banned for it and I don't want to suffer the same fate, and also because most of his video is simply liberal bashing and I want to focus on his points about Islam. And there's something that I found that really disturbed me about Sneako. Something far worse than his misogyny and his other West bashing. Let's watch and see. We've barely just begun the video and I'm already getting jihadi vibes from this guy. Here he is doing wudu and the text says, "How I learned to love the Unabomber." We'll get to his arguments later, but you can probably see why this is concerning. Does he not have any self-awareness at all? Does he not see how this looks? Talking about bombing and doing Muslim stuff? You'll notice something else too. His entire video and seemingly his worldview is based on streamers. This streamer said this and that streamer said that. So other than the Unabomber, he doesn't reference any books, any articles, any research, any intellectuals, any philosophers, nothing. Just so-called streamer here and there.
What is the solution? Islam makes sense to me because in the mosque, race is not a part of the conversation like in Christianity.
Well, race is not a conversation in churches either. I'm not a Christian, but Christianity is universal and spans race, just like Islam does. That being said, there is racism inside mosques. There's racism even in Mecca, the holiest city of Islam. People are treated differently based on their race, and openly too. Malcolm X was lied to when he went for Hajj. He didn't see it because he was a guest of the government and he got the all-star treatment, staying in luxurious hotels, getting invited to eat with royalty and so on. He didn't see the Africans sleeping on the street and crowding hotel rooms, which are side by side right next to the princes in the 5-star air-conditioned hotels and tents with all-you-can-eat buffets. So this whole equal experience thing is a lie. It's socially stratified. And then add to it the nasty treatment that the locals give to guests. They treat brown people with disdain. They call some black people abd, which means slave. This is nothing new though. Racism is big in the Middle East. For example, in 2018, there was a TV series in Ramadan that was openly racist against black people. The Kuwaiti comedy series, Block Gashmara, dedicated a whole episode to actors in blackface portraying Sudanese people as lazy and cynical. Al Jazeera wrote about the social media backlash that happened after this, saying that these exchanges and criticism, however, were limited to social media and, as in the past, failed to produce a bigger society-wide discussion. This is hardly surprising given that racism in Arab popular culture and in Arab cinema in particular is pervasive, and there seems to be little interest in the Arab society to change that. So, if Islam is so anti-racist, why the hell is there so much racism in Muslim countries? If the tree is pure, then why are the fruits so rotten? Why are the Kafir countries doing better at this than Muslim ones in the 21st century? So yes, America might be racist, but it's still far better than most of the Muslim world. By the way, if you're new here, do subscribe and like the video. For my loyal subscribers, carry on. And do you agree or disagree with my take on Sneako? I try to read the comments, so please do tell me.
And especially not with the ethno-religion of Judaism. A Jewish person can reject the existence of God, but still be a Jew. Hollywood consists of all these atheist Jews, but there's no such thing as an atheist Muslim. That doesn't make any sense. A Muslim simply accepts that there's one creator.
Hear me out on this. Yes, there is such a thing. In fact, my friend Ali Rizvi wrote a book called The Atheist Muslim. Why can't someone be culturally Muslim without believing in the dogma of the religion? Sure they can. In fact, people like this exist everywhere in every religion. Muslims may disagree, but we are not talking about the religious doctrine here. We're talking identity. And that's exactly what atheist Jew means. It means the identity is still Jewish, but not the religious values. These atheist Jews don't hold the Sabbath. They don't eat kosher. They eat bacon. They work on Saturdays. And there's no reason why we can't have the same thing with Muslims. Muslims that celebrate Eid and fast when they feel like it in Ramadan, but when they don't want to, they don't. And then after, they might even have a beer with the iftar, which is the post-fast meal. In some societies, this is already the case. I remember reading a comment from a Uyghur Muslim saying that they see no contradiction in using the word Muslim, even if people over there don't pray, fast, drink beer, whatever. He was saying, I don't even see the point of an ex-Muslim label, because over here, we don't need that label. It's just Muslim. It's just accepted that Muslims don't all follow Islam or even believe in all this stuff. And that's the way the world is going. So sorry, Sneako, wrong again.
A Muslim simply accepts that there's one creator. And culturally, it fixes all of the damage that feminism has done. Feminists are desperately anxious to prove that women are as strong and as capable as men. Clearly, they are nagged by a fear that women may not be as strong and as capable as men.
More reasons why Sneako loves Islam. It aligns with his worldview. The Quran says that you need to either bring one male or two female witnesses, because she might forget. Muhammad said that women are deficient religiously and mentally. Sound familiar to what he just said? I can go on and on about how Islam takes away women's rights, but don't take my word for it. The proof is in the pudding. Most Muslim countries are far behind when it comes to this metric. So if your religion attracts misogynists like Sneako and Andrew Tate, what does that say about it? As to his point, sure, women are on average weaker physically. Their bones are not as dense, they're not as tall, they have more fat and less muscle, but that's on average. Many women could knock the hell out of this skinny prick. So who is he to talk? Just look at Tamara Walcott, maybe one of the world's strongest women. Imagine she's growing up and she heard this twat say that women are weak, and she didn't bother following her dreams because of what he said. Imagine all the young women who have parents that talk like this guy, would tell them that they're inferior. How will they ever reach their potential? I mean, this guy's barely old enough to procreate. Who is he to go around putting down half of the human race as inferior? But it aligns with Islam, doesn't it? It really does.
Why else would an XQC have such a hard time arguing that women could drive cars as good as men?
You fucking... Sorry, no insults. That was just... I got unhinged. Sorry.
Because deep down, everyone knows men are stronger mentally and physically, but we ignore basic reality for feminist feelings.
Notice that this guy's whole worldview is based on what streamers say. He doesn't seem to be able to realize that just because the individual you're speaking to gets upset or heated doesn't mean they're wrong. Confidence or lack of confidence does not equal correctness. Let's look at the data, shall we? You said driving. Well, statistically, men have been shown to be involved in more accidents and have higher claim costs compared to women, which can result in higher insurance premium for men. So Sneako is wrong again. Even the examples he used to make his point are wrong. This is what you call genius IQ right there. And regarding women not being strong mentally, man, his point here is even worse. There is no scientific evidence to support the claim that one gender is inherently smarter than the other on average. Intelligence is a complex trait influenced by a combination of genes, environmental, and social, cultural factors. But take a look at this. In recent years, women have been attending and graduating from universities and colleges at higher rates compared to men in many countries. What does that tell you? Does that really confirm what he was saying, that women are deficient mentally? No. If anything, it appears to be the opposite. Like, there's more women attending college or university. I'm guessing Sneako didn't attend college or university. And there have been countless amazing women throughout history who have made significant contributions to the progress of humanity in various fields. Here are just a few notable examples. Marie Curie, a Polish-born physicist and chemist, Curie conducted pioneering research on radioactivity, becoming the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields, physics and chemistry. She actually died from radiation poisoning. Rosa Parks, an African-American civil rights activist. Parks famously refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama. And then we have Jane Goodall. Goodall is renowned for her groundbreaking study of wild chimpanzees. Her research revolutionized our understanding of primate behavior and conservation. Amelia Earhart, an aviation pioneer. Amelia was the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Take that, Sneako. Have you done anything like that? Ada Lovelace, an English mathematician and writer, she's considered the world's first computer programmer. These are just a few examples of the many remarkable women who have contributed to the progress of humanity in various fields. There are countless others, and their contributions continue to inspire and shape our world. Only an idiot would say women are mentally inferior, Muhammad included. Imagine the irony here. Man can't even make good arguments, and he wants to say women are intellectually inferior to men? Now we get to the worst part and the most dangerous thing I noticed about Sneako.
It was actually all the way far east in Japan where I first read the Unabomber Manifesto. If you've seen this police sketch before, you might know Ted Kaczynski as the man who mailed bombs to university professors and scientists. He killed 3 people and fatally injured 24 more. Shame. This terrible person lived off the grid in the woods of Montana for 2 decades in complete solitude. All he did was feed off the land and make bombs in his cabin.
Notice how nonchalantly he mentions making bombs and even bombing people. It even sounds like he's being sarcastic about the Unabomber being a terrible person. I mean, he already admitted he loves the guy. Now let's get something clear. There might be some truth to what the Unabomber said about technology or whatever. The guy was known to be a genius, and he may have got some things right about the world. I mean, even Hitler loved puppies or something. Does that mean we have to take these guys' entire manifestos at face values? Of course not. We should call it out. He was totally wrong to kill people. But do you hear any of that from Sneako? I don't. All I hear was, oh, he was making bombs. So what?
If social media is a drug, then the Unabomber Manifesto is its warning label. His solution was finding refuge in the outdoors. He wanted us to ditch technology and find happiness in small communities. Yes, he also threatened to bomb a commercial flight and kill some teachers, but is that so bad for a guy who survived CIA mind control?
And his blame the CIA makes no sense either. These psychological experiments that happened in Harvard in the 60s were done by Harvard psychologist Henry Murray, and that was on 22 students. Clearly, this wouldn't have been allowed today, but notice the other 21 individuals didn't turn into terrorists? This guy was already unhinged. There are several worrying factors here. One is that Sneako is clearly anti-West. His entire video is not just bashing liberals, but by extension bashing the entire West as weak and feminine and whatever. That's why he thinks Islam is better. The Muslim world is better. It subjugates women. It's strong and masculine. And he totally has this us versus them mentality. Something you can read quite clearly in the Quran and even more so in the Hadith. The Quran says, don't be friends with disbelievers. The Quran says Islam will dominate over all other religions. This antagonistic worldview is most clearly represented by the Muslim Salafis and Islamists. They preach Wala and Bara and see the world as Kafir and Muslim, just like the Quran paints. These people haven't left the 7th century, and Sneako just joined them. The combination of this man being unintelligent, his loving of the Unabomber and excusing his violence, his hate for the West, his love of Islam, is all a dangerous cocktail that makes this man ripe for the picking for ISIS and other similar groups. He already lives in a Muslim country, so they'll have easier access to him. And now, because he's famous, he can be used to get more young Muslims to join these causes. I hope the FBI is watching him. After seeing this, is it any surprise a man like him loves Islam? Islam is a perfect match for him. But for the rest of us, no way. We're happier without it, and we don't want it or need it. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, you're awesome. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to my patrons for your continued support. And please consider joining if you haven't already done so. This is your friendly ex-Muslim, Abdullah Samir, signing out.